Hey guys, so welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. Today we have a very special tarot card reading, and this one is for Skyla. Skyla is basically asking me, where will I be in the next year? What her life is going to look like, where she's going to be, what her direction will be, and that type of thing. So I've been meditating on this for just a few moments, even before turning on the live stream here, just to kind of get some understanding around the question, and also just to kind of tap into the energy. I'm in a really psychic state of mind right now. A lot of things have really been coming to me pretty profoundly. So one more time we'll cut these. Oh, that same jump card just keeps jumping right out. That's okay. All right. Okay. Wow. Okay, so just to kind of give you guys an understanding of how this sort of works, if you're kind of new to the channel, we basically will cover the near past, the present moment, and the near future. Then we'll talk about really what's going on with the present moment. Really, where the querent, that's the person asking the question. In this particular case, it's Skyla. Kind of where she's at with everything, or what she would like to have happen, like in the next year or so, where she would like to be at, a year from now with her life and everything. And then we'll look at really the outcome. And then we'll look at the answer, the key to getting that outcome. So let's get started. So in the past, we had the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is completion of a chapter. It's sort of like death of an old way of being, or something happened, something ended, something that was probably like a major life situation, or a major, maybe like you're going along a path, and then all of a sudden that path no longer exists. Like you're just kind of blown off the path. That's gone. So something happened in the near past, in the most recent past, probably a few months out. And that brought us to probably a new journey, of course, and it brought us to this new place. It's a place of influence, and it's a place of influence over emotions, emotional influence. So being able to have a better understanding of our own emotions, but also of the emotions of other people, and then be able to use that understanding in order to get what we want. And you use a little bit of psychology, and that's kind of where things are at right now with Skyla. In the near future, probably a couple of months from now, we have the Five of Wands. Sometimes people call it the Five of Staves, but Wands here, you notice everyone in this is really kind of battling everyone else. There's no team, there's no side. Everybody's just kind of in it for themselves, and that's the energy of what's about to happen, what's coming into play. So the people that you connect with, the people that you associate with, those kind of things, everyone is sort of like, I don't want to say it's like a dilemma, but it's just sort of like the situation where you find yourself, kind of in it by yourself, kind of in this world, trying to eke out everything by yourself and that. And that's sort of the near future. This is pretty good because, it's almost like there's competition. And when there's competition, it's good because it forces you to work harder. And of course, the harder that you work, it kind of teaches you to find out how to become the best at something. So it kind of gets you in that position state. And that's what happens with this five. This five's about change. It kind of changes things up for us. But yeah, so this is, you might find yourself kind of on the competitive playground when this starts to happen in the next month or two, probably closer to 2 months, I'm picking up. But it also kind of teaches you just to kind of take note and to really learn to be the best. And that's it. So you'll learn from these people you're competing against. And as you're learning from these people that you're ultimately in competition with, fighting against, whatever you want to call it, by learning from them, you'll become the best because you'll know what they all know, but they'll only know what they know. Does it make sense? I hope it does. So it's sort of a strategy for you, kind of give you a little insight in terms of how you should maybe approach this situation. It starts to unroll and kind of unravel. And you'll start to feel that energy when everyone is just kind of like battling against everyone else, or that competition is kind of heavy and stuff. Could be around a job situation. It could be around relationships or something along those lines. But there's going to be a lot of activity and a lot of things changing up. A lot of 1 minute it's this way, next minute it's this, next minute it's something else. It's going to be kind of hard to keep up with, but just pay close attention at that time, because what you learn and what you gather from that will help you in the future and pay very huge dividends later on. All right, so that's kind of the first part of this reading. That's kind of where we're at right now. We see that in the past, there's been a completion of sorts. Something new started to take place, and then we got into a place of being able to analyze or understand things more from a psychological perspective, where we're able to understand other people's emotions. Maybe got better understanding or a better perspective of our own emotions. So it's making us more emotionally mature. So our emotional quotient, the EQ, is increasing, as they say. And then finally, it's this thing of the future being that we're going to take all of this stuff. We've learned things in the past that are now gone. The lessons aren't gone, but the actual situation is gone. A lot of the old ways of looking at the world, a lot of old thoughts or old ways of processing things, they're gone. You've switched up, and now you've become more influential, and you've understood sort of like this secret of psychology, or kind of the secret to communicating on an emotional level. So you can understand people's emotions and, pretty much be able to figure them out and do things on that end and get some kind of influence whatever outcomes that you're wanting. That's currently what's going on. And then finally, it's that everyone kind of in it by themselves. You, of course, reign on top, because you're going to be taking the advice that I gave you a minute ago and learning from the people that you're competing against in order to know what they all know, so that you end up on top. So that's the first part of this reading. Now, the second part that we're going to talk about now is going to be where the energy is behind this Queen of Cups. And this is where we're at right now, the Queen of Cups. This is this influence of psychology, this being able to emotionally, I don't want to say emotionally manipulate, but it's just really being able to use emotions in your favor in the best way possible to help yourself and to help others. What is the energy surrounding that? What's the basis for this? Well, it's a King of Pentacles. So we have a queen, now we have a king. The Queen of Emotion, the influencer of emotions, is really in partnership here with this King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles, if you look at this guy, kind of a little smug look on his face, he's doing pretty good. He's the richest of the kings. He's the most grounded of the kings. And everything's pretty good for him. There's not a lot of action going on in his life. There's not a lot of, he doesn't have to overthink things too much. As far as relationships and things go, it's not really on his radar. It's really just about keeping things pretty grounded, keeping things pretty calm. And kings are about authority. They're authority figures. Whatever they say, whatever their mandates, their dictates, whatever, they get what they want. And if they don't, well, people pay a price if they don't give the king what they want. So you never want to go against the king if you can help it. And this energy where you have this royal kind of thing where you have, so anyways, this authority with being able to take this foundation of money and resources and different things, being able to use that at the same time to attract those things using your your power of utilizing the psychology of emotions and different things like that to influence and to wield influence over others. And that basically gets you in a better place financially. And so as we're moving along this path throughout this year, what you start to see happening is you see competition happening. That teaches you a lot, though. That really helps you a lot. And then you see this influencer that you're in right now, this queen. That doesn't go away. That just kind of stays with you as you're going through this 1 year cycle, this period of time. And then that king is staying with you as well. So what happens? You use that. You use this activity, this action, where you're learning from others, your peer groups, other people and stuff that may know more than you, and really being able to capitalize on that. And what that's doing, it's securing a foundation for you financially, materially, grounding you a little bit. This king's a little bit materialistic, so I always tell people to be a little bit cautious and not forget some of your values and just some of the nicer attitudes in life. You don't want to just be all materialistic and always concentrating on the money and stuff at the expense of others and their happiness, and it's not good karma. But it is it will make you feel empowered, and it does give you kind of this sense of like things are good. And that's going to go with you throughout the year. Now, what is it that you want? Like, where's kind of your attitude with this, around this queen of influence? Like, how might you use it? Where does your role fit into this? That's a good question. The answer is a Seven of Swords. Yeah, seven's really a spiritual card, but this guy, he's taking the swords, he's leaving the camp middle of the night, kind of going it alone by himself. He can't carry everything by himself, so he leaves a couple behind. So he's got 5. 5's about change. 2's about relationships. So it's kind of like leaving the relationships behind in lieu of forcing in a different direction in that by oneself. So leaving behind partnership, going more by oneself. Sometimes people call this the thief in the night. Sometimes people call this the cheater card. There's a lot of different things that people call this, but for me, the way that I observe this card and the thing that really does make sense to me with it, it's really about going things alone. It doesn't matter what the reason is. It just means that there's a part of you that just feels like they don't need to follow someone else's path. They can create their own. And that's what this card is really all about. 7 is a very spiritual number. It's where we start to come into an introspective time in our life where we start to inwardly reflect on things and make decisions based on our inner happiness and what it is, our life path and what that looks like. Not making decisions based on other people's happiness and that kind of thing. It's really a time of supplication, prayer, understanding, finding out what's good for us and that kind of thing, and then really kind of treading along that journey outside of what we're accustomed to. So really kind of going alone in that. Now, it is a really good card, in a lot of ways. So don't just take it as just a card of deception and things. It's not that this guy's trying to deceive everything and stuff. Sometimes this is about broken vows, though, like we're two people together. This person needs to be by themselves. Something always goes awry. It doesn't matter what the situation is. You can think that you have the most perfect situation, and then something comes and kind of messes it up, or you get some bad news, or you find out something that is very hurtful and painful to hear or to fathom. And that's what this card sometimes brings about. It's sort of like doing things in secret, having our own secret little agenda that's behind the scenes working. That's where this is. Be a little bit careful with this card, just because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where your little hidden agenda ends up costing you more in the long run than what you ever realized it would. So just be a little bit cautious of that. If you don't tell people what your plans are and you kind of hold back, maybe it's okay to have like a plan B. But if all along, you were promising something, and then all of a sudden, and you knew in the back of your mind that you're going to default on that, eventually be careful, because that could come back and bite you in the butt. come back around and haunt you when somebody does the same thing to you. So you don't want that kind of coming back. That can be, a life lesson that's sort of painful to have to deal with. But this is really a card of feeling in our heart like we just need to get out and do things on our own. If you're working a job, it might be that you're wanting to start a business and you just need to quit that job, or maybe go find another job or do something else. You're just not there anymore. It doesn't work for you. You need to be honest with your feelings, though, and that. I mean, right now you've got that Queen of Cups, and that Queen of Cups is really where you have that emotional influence over others. So you can use that, but still communicate as best you can what your intentions are. It's what's nice for people, so that other people feel okay with things. And you'll find that people will be more respecting if you do that. A little FYI. All right, so that's where you're at with things. So now we have gone through and we've done the second part of this reading. We've got one more part to go. So second part, we kind of find out what's really going on with this Queen of Cups. We said it was the King of Pentacles. That's a monetary. It's like getting ourselves situated better financially, more grounded, more security in our life, that kind of thing. That's what's coming about within the next year. And then we also said that sort of our direction, what starts to come about, or kind of what we're feeling, or maybe what's going on internally, is sort of like having this hidden agenda, or maybe kind of like a, where we don't reveal everything to the people that we're doing business with, or that we're working with, or that we're in a relationship with, whatever the case happens to be. And then at some point, it's sort of like it becomes too much and we just have to kind of escape. And it's that plan B contingency that's right there. And sometimes maybe you just need to get away, have a little R&R, and then come back. But you don't have to just totally isolate yourself or totally leave a situation behind and burn a bridge. So just a little food for thought there. Now let's talk about the outcome. So the outcome is the Justice card. So in the next year, when we get back around to this time next year and stuff like that, Justice is about balance. Justice isn't blind. Justice sees everything. It sees the good, the bad, the ugly. It's also, what's in the mind. It's a good card here. It represents, something being done justifiably. If we change our actions, like with this card, we end up getting different results. The card that precedes Justice in the tarot is another card, and it's called Fortune. And with Fortune, we end up getting every now and then in life, you get just something handed to you out of the blue. It's kind of like some fortune or some good luck, something that was unexpected that just kind of falls into your lap. And it's like, oh my goodness, wow. And there's so much gratitude and love and appreciation for that, right? At least excitement anyways, if nothing more. Justice kind of follows that, kind of leaves off, picks up where Fortune leaves off. And it's really the answer for us as far as, just being willing to change your actions to get better outcomes coming about. So if you're willing to do that, as this year goes about, it's really this thing of saying, okay, Skyla, if you are willing to be flexible here, like if you can change your actions here and there, you'll start to see a shift in the outcomes. So if you're not getting what you want, try a little bit different approach and see if that works. Sometimes it might just require a little bit of tweaking. Other times it might be more altering, like something more massive, a bigger change, or something that you'll have to completely do. May have to flip it on its head, do something completely the opposite from what you were doing. You'll be really good at doing this, though, and you'll be good at handling this to get this outcome because of that Queen of Cups that will be following you through here. That's what's going on right now with you. That's where you get that emotional influence and everything that we talked about a little bit ago. And then we have the key to this, to getting what you want, which is just about anything that you want. Whatever you're really after, whatever you're really wanting to go after, will be yours, because you're going to be flexible enough and you're going to realize that, hey, if I didn't get it doing this, I'll just shift gears here and then I'll get it this other way. It's also a little bit about relentlessness, being able to try different things in order to find the perfect result. And you'll master that with this card, this Justice card. So this is really about changing our actions to get different results. How do we do that, though, is something that's somewhat of a mystery sometimes to us. Well, the way we do that is with this next card. This is our answer card. This is the Three of Wands, or the Three of Staves, whatever you want to call it. And you see this person here, they're holding onto one of the staves, one of the wands. They got two behind them. It's sort of similar to where we left 2 swords behind us, and had the other 5 swords with us for the 7 of Swords card that we had a moment ago. But with this, it's about putting your idea out there. That's what this is really all about. But more than just putting it out there, it's really about testing it. That means taking action. Wands are all about taking action. And you want to get that idea working for yourself, So if you got an idea or you got something going on, don't just talk about it. Really put it out there, really put it into action, and you're going to see some massive results start to happen. And that Justice card will definitely be helping you along the way, along with that Queen of Cups, that Queen of Influence. I could also maybe possibly see that you're getting some kind of financial backing. It could be a raise. It could be some kind of money coming in to your situation, but it won't come in maybe necessarily through your own efforts. A lot of it will be coming in through maybe a financial backer. Maybe it could be a boss, someone that has sort of a vested interest in you, that sees your potential and recognizes it and really wants to help you take your idea to the next level. And that's it. That's really where things are headed for you. So it's going to be an exciting, next 365 days, I guess is a good way of putting it for you. You're going to have a lot of different types of opportunities that you didn't have before. And I hope that you'll actually take the time to go back through this reading and all and maybe digest it a little bit deeper. There's quite a bit of information in this particular reading. I do realize that. And maybe it goes a little bit beyond just the scope of what you wanted. But that's okay. I mean, it will definitely give you some food for thought and help you make those transitions and things as time comes on. So yeah, bear all of these things in mind, as you continue to proceed forward. So yeah, so that's that. Now, guys, many of you that subscribe to the channel know kind of my story. I'm a monk. This is one of the services that I perform. Doing tarot. I've been psychic since I was a small child. They used to send me off to like ESP school and that. And just my ability to not only read tarot, but to just get things intuitively. Like I get a lot of information intuitively. Some people call it being psychic, psychic phenomenon, whatever you want to call it. It's just something that naturally works with me, and I can get a sense of things. Sometimes it's pictures, sometimes it's dreams. It happens in a variety of ways. Sometimes it's just that inner knowing. So my intuition really does start to pick up and kick in. So it's one of the services that I do. It's something that I feel led to do from God, and so that's the reason I do it. If you want to support not just what I'm doing, but just the monks in general, kind of some of the projects that we have moving forward. Right now we're working on redoing a guest room so that a small room for guests to stay when they come and visit, or for people that are in need of a place to stay. If they show up on the doorstep or something like that, we have a place that we can give them some privacy or some a place to stay if they need it. To do that, though, we have to renovate the room, and the room is really in a disarray. And so we're really having to do everything from scratch. That's new drywall, new flooring, putting in things for a small closet, a tiny library in there so that they have something to read, some entertainment, that kind of thing. And then maybe like a desk so that they can work if they need to do some work or something in there, or they want to read or meditate or do anything along those lines. So to make that possible so that it's conducive for spiritual development and just for, daily living, we would like to have some help with that if you can help out. I'm going to put a list in the description below this video. It's actually a Google document that I'm just going to copy and paste a link to. You can just copy and paste it into your browser window and open it up, and then you'll see all the things that we need. And there's a link to Menards. It's a huge home improvement store of a lot of the different items that we need, so you can get an actual idea of what it is we're looking for. If you can help, and if you're one of those people that don't like to donate with money, you can donate an item. Maybe you already have some extra items or something like that lying around that you just like to ship up here or something like that. You're more than welcome to do that as well. The Menards is not that far away from us, maybe about 6 miles from where we're at. So we could always go down and pick it up if you just want to like maybe order it direct to store or something like that, and just put it care of me, and I'll have that in the document as well. And then we have our addresses that's actually on there as well, that you can also send the items to if that works more for you. We also have a website for taking donations, and that's helpbydonating.com. Really, that's probably the easiest way and the most cost-effective way, because it doesn't cost you anything for shipping or anything. We can actually go down and pick up the items, fixing up this room so that we can have guests over and help people in this other new kind of way that we're wanting to do. And there's some other things on the list too, like with technology, that we'd like to do as far as improving the content here on YouTube. I mean, obviously I'm just using a laptop webcam at a desk, and the office spaces here in this kitchen area where we do make a lot of prasadam, or spiritually blessed food and different things for the monks, but also for the community and everyone else. It would be interesting to be able to kind of like maybe not have this as the backdrop, but maybe have like a green screen or maybe some kind of a curtain or something that could be put behind this desk, just to make it more private and so less invasive, in case other monks want to come and if they come and bout and stuff like that, where it's not distracting you guys from watching the video. So that would be useful, or something along those lines. But again, I'll put that information down in the description below this video. Whatever you can donate, whatever is in your heart, we appreciate it. Just make sure you do it from the heart. We don't want anyone feeling any resentment in giving at all to help us out. Our whole thing is about helping others selflessly, and that's the way we want other people to feel, as far as our mission is concerned as well. So if it's something that is something you can do, something you feel good about doing, you're more than welcome to helpbydonating.com. What else? Oh, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification so that you get notifications every time we come on. If you do hit that bell notification and you start to get notifications, what will happen is you can jump on these YouTube streams with me, jump in the chat, and if you have questions or you want to ask a question or something like that, get some insight or perspective on things, we'll be more than happy to help you in that way also. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So Skyla, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to serve you here today. I hope that this really blesses you and gives you some perspective on what's to come in the year ahead. As your tarot coach, I'm always here for you. I'm here for everyone, in fact, watching this. If you want to reach out to me, my email's in the description below this video. You have other ways of reaching me as well. And anyways, to everyone, much love, many blessings, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Indirect Knowledge. Thanks for tuning in.